On today's episode of Worship Leader Wednesday, we're going to talk about rehearsals for your Sunday morning worship services, why you should have them, and how you can maximize them. So today's video is actually in response to a comment, or actually a question we received on our Worship Leader Facebook group. So, shameless promotion happening right here. Worship Leader Facebook, here's the question. The group is called WT Leaders on Facebook. It is a closed Facebook group, but we would love for you to join it and connect with us. There will be a link below where you can find that Facebook group. Just request to join. There's a couple questions that we ask. I think it's, who is the King of Kings
and the Lord of Lords?
That's right. Jesus. Yeah, that's the answer. We're giving you the answers. And then we ask you to, if you're just involved in a church, and if so, where. So yeah, join that Facebook group. Get involved in the discussion there. There's some great community happening. But this question, this video, like I said, is in response to a post in that group from Jamie Huntington. Jamie, thank you for asking.
Jamie?
Jamie says this: can you do a Worship Leader Wednesday? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. And we are. Is now soon enough?
On should I stop doing midweek rehearsals? Do you think Jamie is wants to stop? Is he looking for an excuse?
Jamie, my wife read your post and she said, I'm not sure if he's gonna like the answer.
Don't stop.
Good. Yeah, so rehearsals can be frustrating.
Yeah.
And and especially if you're just following someone else's lead who's not doing a great job.
There's a myriad of reasons.
Sounded
why
like maybe there's a little frustration behind that, which many of us have had extremely terrible experiences, frustrating experiences with rehearsals. So we're going to hopefully maybe help shed a little light on how we can prevent that from happening and how we can maximize our rehearsals and make the experience better. Because from experience, I know that if you can make a great rehearsal, your volunteers will love it.
So when we were talking about making this video, Fuller told me, he goes, Brian, I have 3 reasons why you should have rehearsals, and I have 3 ways to make them great.
There you go.
So let's start with why. Why should I have a rehearsal?
Sure.
Because I would suspect a lot of people, and I've actually asked this question or seen people ask this question, what do you do for rehearsals? A lot of people say we show up an hour before church.
Yeah, it happens
That's
a
their
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we get it, time is valuable.
Sometimes the venue's not available.
Well, the venue's not available. What I hear a lot is we just don't have time.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to push back a little bit, because we need to make time for things that are important, right? And we need to figure out ways to do it in an effective way. We don't want to waste time, though.
Yes.
That's what we don't want to do. So the first thing I said for why is it builds community. Mm-hmm. Because if the only relationship you have with your worship team is showing up on Sunday, being rushed, throwing it together, and then pulling off a service, that's not really a great relationship builder. One of the things that a midweek rehearsal allows you to do, it allows you to get together under no pressure and chill and talk. We use our rehearsal times on Wednesday nights we spend 30 minutes just talking. We get in a group, all the production, all the band, and we'll usually ask the question, hey, what's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
It's cool to start getting to know people. Yeah. And so you're building that community without that pressure of, oh my gosh, we got to go on in 10 minutes. And that's important, because if we're not careful, we can just show up and do tasks.
Yeah.
So we got to build community. That's the first thing. The second thing is it creates excellence. Mm-hmm.
Which is important.
It is important.
Yes.
What's going to be better, a song you've done 3 times or a song you've done 9 times? And so just by
9 times.
That's right, Brian. That is the correct answer. Music is something that involves motor skills, and a lot of times most of us aren't professional musicians. So the more we play a song, the more we practice a song, the better it's going to be.
Right.
And also transitions. It gives you a chance to go, those 2 songs didn't feel very good together. It gives you a chance to tweak it and change it without, again, going, we start in 5 minutes, so just go with it. So it moves us towards excellence. And I believe that excellence honors God.
Absolutely.
Right? And, we need to do everything as if we're doing unto the Lord.
And the Bible is very clear about this. And this is what the Bible has to say about it. This is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters.
That's awesome.
And in this case, when we prepare for worship, we are working for the Lord. So that verse
is even more so. Yeah,
that verse is talking about everything that you do, whatever it is. But in this case, I believe it's even more of a mandate biblically that we do things with excellence. And I think when we just wing it, or when we do things not as well as we could, you could make an argument that might be insulting to God. God is not satisfied. I mean, if you look at
the offering.
If you look at the story of Cain and Abel,
Yep.
God was not satisfied with here you go.
Yeah, this is all I
What
got. Take what I've got
God
left.
desires is
First
your
fruits,
best.
man. First fruits.
And
the same
so-
with tithing. You
Yeah.
give God your first fruits, man, not what's left over.
Yeah, and so if you're just showing up and just giving it the bare minimum, which it may not feel like it is, but if you just show up and wing it, that's the bare minimum. Maybe that's something to consider when we think about what we're doing as we worship and lead people.
Absolutely. So that's the second reason why. The third reason why is, and this is important, especially for musicians in our churches, it builds confidence.
Yeah.
So you might be an amazing musician, and rehearsals to you are just kind of like, I got to play these songs again.
Yeah.
But most people are going, thank God I get a chance to play the song before I stand in front of people.
Yes.
So you got to look at the team as a whole and go, who can benefit from this? Mm-hmm. And chances are, even on times where maybe you don't feel like you're benefiting from it, you are, because the team is benefiting from it. And so we're working together. It's why, hey, if our drummer can't show up to rehearsal, we're going to change rehearsal, because it's not just because I don't think the drummer's going to do well. It's that I need the bass player to hear what the drummer's going to do.
Yeah.
I need the vocalist to hear what the drummer's going to do. So it's a team effort.
Right.
And so we want to build confidence in our team. And the best way to do that is give them a time where they can build confidence without the pressure of messing up or making a mistake or it not going well. So those are the three reasons why.
Can I add a fourth reason why? Well, it goes back to the excellence thing, but from just a technical production standpoint, I've done many services before where there was no rehearsal. I showed up on Sunday. I showed up early, and it was like every time you do that, or when you come to a rehearsal, right? If you're a worship leader and you prep for this stuff, you show up and you just think in the back of your mind, there's about 4 or 5 fires that are burning out of control.
Yes.
Right? And then I'm going to have to put them out. Whether it's a computer that won't turn on, or it's a soundboard where it's like your guitar has no output. Or, if you're running lyrics, the program crashes, or you set it up but now it doesn't work. There are gremlins in the machines somewhere, right? Yes. And if you don't, a rehearsal allows you to work out those kinks before Sunday. Right. Because when you have people showing up and you have this little amount of time, right before a service, to go through the songs, and you spend the whole time troubleshooting technical difficulties, which it's gonna happen. Trust me, it's gonna happen.
It's happened every week of my life for the last decade.
And so you at least have an opportunity to fix that stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Because that is so, as a volunteer, that has to be frustrating, just to sit and you see the worship leader just the tension level is just rising, Doesn't make for a great Sunday morning.
No. And in addition to building confidence, it does lower your stress.
Oh, yeah.
When you show up on a weekend you've had a rehearsal, the stress is a lot lower.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so those were the three plus a bonus reasons why you should have a rehearsal. Yeah. Now let's talk about how to make them great.
So rehearsals need to be great. Mm-hmm. For everyone, because nobody just wants to waste a few hours.
It should not be wasted.
That's right. So chances are a lot of you who are bummed out from rehearsals are just part of bad rehearsals. Mm-hmm. So the way we can make our rehearsals better is this. Number one is we got to have a plan. Mm-hmm. Okay? Sounds simple, but it's amazing how many artists and musicians just kind of show up and wing it. Yeah. So if you're leading a rehearsal, I urge you, have a plan. What do you want to accomplish? And I'm not talking about we want to practice the songs. That's part of the plan. But I'll give you an example. Here's our plan. We show up at 6:30. The band hits the stage with the vocals. We do sound checks, line checks. We practice whatever we need to practice for 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. At 7, production gets there. We all have a 30-minute devotional time. Mm-hmm. Where we talk, we chill, we ask questions, we pray, we read scripture, and then at 8 we do a run through. And so it's that's our plan. Yeah. The plan doesn't always go perfectly, but that's our plan. So you have to have a clear plan and make it start and stop. So we've all been a part of that rehearsal where we're supposed to leave at 9, but it gets done at 9:45 or 10 or 10:15. That is totally disrespectful to all of your people, and that will make everyone want to quit.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? My family doesn't deserve that.
No.
If my wife thinks I'm going to be home at 10, I need to be home at 10.
Yeah.
And so we respect people by putting boundaries on it. So when you have a plan and you got a start and stop time, that right there respects and honors people, and they'll be more excited to do it.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you don't get through everything, so what?
Yeah.
Pick it up Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Or cut the song. Or try something simple.
Yes.
Don't listen, learning the bass riff to a Planet Shaker song is not worth an hour and a half of everyone's time.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Exactly.
If you get it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's not worth spending too long.
If you can't figure out that bridge in 7/4, cut it. Cut it and go to 4/4 and keep it simple. So honor people's time. The second way on how to have a great rehearsal is you've got the plan. Now you got to communicate the plan.
Yes.
Tell your people. Tell everyone involved before it happens what the plan is. Here are the songs we're doing. Here's how rehearsal's gonna go.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna work on, and communicate the plan. People like knowing what's going on, especially if they're giving up a night of their week for it.
Yeah.
So let's communicate to them.
Let's talk about what we do in our church to do that. So first question, I'm just basically going to interview you for this part. How far in advance do we let people know that you're scheduled for this weekend? Here's the rehearsal, and here are the songs and the resources.
So
how far in advance?
Okay, so that's a good one. For scheduling, everyone knows for the whole year.
For the whole year.
Yeah, so we created a team system, and we can do a video on this too. This is important.
Okay, but this is pie in the sky for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A full year in advance. So let's talk about what we do, and then what
It
do we
sounds
suggest?
complicated, but here's why it's easy.
simple. Yeah.
We have 4 teams.
Yeah.
A, B, C, and D. Team A serves the first Sunday. B serves the second Sunday. Guess what Team C, guess what weekend Team C is?
I'm going to guess third week.
That's right. Team D serves the fourth Sunday. Every 3 months there's a fifth Sunday, and we just randomly pick people for that.
Together,
yeah. So at the beginning of the year, we go, hey, John, you're on Team A. So John knows the first Sunday of every month he's on, and that Wednesday he'll have a rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's great. Since we've been doing this, and this was my wife's idea, Jackie.
This was your wife's idea?
Yeah, props to Jackie.
Oh, man.
This was her
Give
idea.
her a raise.
Yeah, she's going to get a raise.
She earned
and
it.
so there's this idea that you're giving people information. Man, people are busy. They have kids. They have soccer schedules. They have school schedules. They have graduations. They have weddings. When you tell them this is where you're going to be for the rest of the year, they're like, this is amazing.
Yes.
And it's way
huge.
better than, hey, can you play next week? Can you play the week after that? Can you play? Now, I know the big thing is like, well, we don't have that many people.
Let me push
Neither
back.
did we.
Yeah. So the thing is, people are going to watch that and say,
Oh, you have 100
you have
people.
to have
Yeah.
4 people deep in every position, which we do for a lot,
Yeah, we do now.
but we didn't.
Yeah.
And not all of our campuses
It took
do
me
either.
about 3 years to build 4 teams deep.
Yeah.
And some of our campuses have 2 teams. But here's what I say. It's never too late to start.
Right.
Make a spreadsheet, and your end goal is teams. And we'll have another video on the team.
A video on how to set this up.
We will.
This is a game changer.
It is a game changer. And you might have the same person on every team, but you know, for a while, but you want to move away.
They know.
You want at least they know, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll talk more about that, but communication is key. If people know where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there and what they're going to be doing when they get there, that engagement level goes through the roof.
So can we? What would we suggest as a time frame? Say I'm working toward the team thing. I'm not there yet. Like, how many weeks in advance should we let people know?
I would say this: wherever you're at now, double it.
Yeah.
If you tell people Sunday morning what songs they're doing, tell them the Sunday before.
Good stuff.
Okay? If you tell them a week in advance, shoot for 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
If you tell them 2 weeks in advance, shoot for a month in advance. Our goal is to make sure all of the songs, all of the transitions, everything's thought out 3 weeks in advance.
3 weeks.
Minimum, right?
Okay.
Preferably more than that. But you know, there's always going to be last minute changes. But if you're operating within a structure, the last minute changes become super easy to do because there's little things here and there.
Yeah. And so last question before we move on is how do we communicate this? And we use a service called Planning Center.
Planning Center Online.
I think it's planning.center now.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Planning Center Online, you'll find it.
It is like, so it's a web application, and you can add all your volunteers to it. You can add all the songs that you do, and then it's beautiful the way it works. And you plan your whole service out. You schedule people to your service. You add the songs.
Yes.
And the resources, it's a database, so you don't have to add everything every time. The resources, like you can add MP3s, you can add chord charts. They have chord charting functionality. They'll auto-transpose stuff for you.
Yeah, which is phenomenal
so like if
feature.
there's a Chris Tomlin song in the key of A and nobody can sing it in that key, like we're going to do it in the key of G.
It'll automatically
transpose it down and transpose the chord charts down for you, so everybody has everything in the right key.
It's a killer resource.
It is beautiful.
And if I'm not mistaken, they have a free level.
They do have a free tier.
So you can get in with a small team. You can get in for free and try it out.
That's what
we use. I would say if it wasn't for Planning Center, I'd probably resign.
And it automates it like
because it just
automates communication. You can tell it, like you have all the people scheduled. You can say, send everybody an email one day before rehearsal to remind them. 1 week before rehearsal to remind them. It's you don't even have to
phenomenal.
do it.
It's phenomenal.
You set it up once and it's done. Yeah. So Planning Center Online.
That's a great way to communicate. So the third thing on how to have a great rehearsal, again, it's going to sound simple. So the first thing was to have a plan. Second thing was to communicate the plan. Guess what the third thing is? Execute the plan. Don't tell people you're going to do something and don't do it. Don't say we're going to stop at 9 and stop at 10. Like, just do it. Commit to doing it. And when you do that, you're going to start creating a culture of expectation. You're going to start creating a culture of people who are starting to get excited because they're going to start seeing the fruits of it. And you're going to be building community. And nothing excites people more than actually getting to know one another and getting to know each other's story and being able to pray for each other and love on each other. And so overall, the idea has very little to do with music.
Yeah.
It's all about organization, structure, commitment, integrity, and then just getting it done.
Yeah.
And then byproduct, your music will get better.
Yeah.
Promise you. Guaranteed.
Your Sunday mornings will be infinitely better.
Yeah.
So we have a video that we did earlier on in the Worship Leader Wednesday series called 5 Tips for Effective Rehearsals. It's a similar video. In this video, we talked a little more about why you should have a rehearsal in the first place. Yeah. In that video, and there will be a link below to that video, and it'll probably pop up here somewhere in this video as well. But we also have a free document, PDF you can download that has the specific schedule of our rehearsals
just an idea.
at our church. And feel free to use it, copy it, make it your own, however you want. It's free for you to use as a reference or even as a guide for yourself. Link to download that is below as well. But yeah, these rehearsals are so important.
One other little caveat too, for those of you who don't have a permanent location, like a setup teardown, one of the things I did when I was in Florida at a church there, we met in a movie theater.
Yeah.
So what we did is during the week, we just found a place to practice.
Yeah.
And it was very low key. It was literally like we'd do a djembe, acoustic guitar, keys, no mics or anything. Yep. And we would just sit in a circle and we would practice the songs. We would talk about transitions. Yeah. And just that, A, it built great friendships, community. But B, it allowed us to be more prepared than what we would have originally. So there's ways around the obstacles.
We did the same thing. I used to be in a church where we weren't able to get into the building, and we actually we asked churches in the surrounding area, hey, do any of you have some space we can use? Yeah. And a church let us just meet in their basement. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button below. We are here every Wednesday. It is Worship Leader Wednesday.
Worship Leader Wednesday.
It will be on Wednesday. So hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, there's a little bell icon that comes up that YouTube will send you a notification every time we upload a video, which is often here at Worship Tutorials. Right. Thanks again so much for watching. Bye-bye.